Welcome to the Inspiring Sustainability podcast and live YouTube recording. I am delighted today to be talking to Kennedy Odede, who's the founder and CEO of Shining Hope for Communities, which is a fantastic social enterprise which is based in Nairobi in Kenya. So hello there, Kennedy.
Thank you so much, Adam, for having me. Thank you so much.
Looking forward to our conversation, because today we're actually going to be talking about something which for most people would be seen as what is often called social sustainability, but also there's a fantastic environmental sustainability impact to what your organization is doing, because it's about a school which is focused on young women and girls.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about how that can really help girls to go into school, and how that can help the wider community, and obviously the social sustainability benefits of that, but also how that can be an environmental sustainability benefit, particularly for climate change. And then we'll be wrapping up the conversation with a conversation about hard technology that Kennedy and his organization are working with. So I was actually delighted to speak with Kennedy a month or two ago when he visited London to to be given an award, and Kennedy and his organization are multi-award winning. And through that conversation, it became clear that he really does fit the bill of being a game changer and inspiring sustainability, and how he is shining hope on Africa, and in fact the whole world, I would say. So Kennedy, start off, tell us a bit more about yourself, how you got your journey to get to here.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm very lucky and humbled to be here today on the discussion. So I want to say that from a very early age, I believed in people. My mother, a single mother who really struggled a lot in life, and really made us believe as kids that everything starts with people. So when we were very poor, we couldn't even afford food. But at the age of 10, I was a homeless kid, street boy, eating from the garbage, no hope, life was tough. But I always have that feeling that any change to happen, it has to go with people. So anyway, I don't want to talk about my life story, but I want to talk about the journey, So it was a very tough journey growing up in one of the largest slums in Africa, where there is a challenge with running water, there is a challenge with the sanitation, is poor garbage, violence. There's also was a tough place to grow up. It's an area that can be compared to Central Park. Those who have been to New York, and there lives more than 1 million people, and life is very hard. It's a struggle. But people living there are just that they were not advantaged to be born in rich family or with good school of system, but they do struggle to survive. And they are the people who really inspired me a lot. They never gave up, and even now they are changing their community. If you talk about the climate change, these are the people who really get ruined up by what's happening around the world. So when I was around 15 years old, I got a job in the factory, and that's when I bought a soccer ball. And this soccer ball was a football. It was a way to bring people together. Because my only way is that I believe in big ideas, but I think that it has to stop with individuals. That's when we're going to have a big impact. So I was inspired by Dr. King, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and women like Wangari Maathai, who won Nobel Prize from Kenya, and Rosa Parks. And I knew that their change that became a big change in the world and a global started with people. So for us to fight this poverty, which also bring out the climate change, all these things, we have to make people buy in the idea. So SHOFCO was started, brought people together, we could just discuss and let them own it. And it started becoming a very huge movement in the slum. We started from there, we started growing slowly by slowly. And I realized that for us to have a big impact change, women must be frontline. Why? Because in most decisions, when you empower women in a society, in any country, the ripple effect is much huge. So the idea that we have to start, and education is everything. I think education is everything. With education, you understand a lot of things. You understand about climate change. You understand about gender. Without education, you can be manipulated. You can be used. So the first thing for women was, how do we educate our women in a patriarchal society whereby most has been women? Men are the one in charge. And for that to happen, you have to give them an example. What does that look like? So that's what I know we discussed that before. We call it softonology. So the idea here was, now men must be part of that. It's not easy. Men are going to come burn down the school. What are they going to do? So the idea was that we're going to start a school for girls. And then in this school for girls, we're going to involve men. So what does that mean? Men has to get something. No free lunch.
So this is the interesting, really interesting part of this is, so because what obviously can stop girls and young women getting involved is actually the existing social, cultural structures.
Yes.
So it's what's really a fabulous story of how you reached that point. So yeah, tell us about how you managed to create a situation. So not only will you have the space to educate those young women and girls, but also that the community that surrounded it, including all the men and the older women, were supporting and enthusiastically engaging with it, or alternatively, how you dealt with people's objections as well.
Okay, good. So if you say about this thing, I've been trying to learn a lot about humanity and human being. Still I'm learning. But I realized something very important. There is always, when it comes to gender issues, there is always a fear. Fear for what? But if you really dig down in the heart of a boy child or male in the slums, in the villages, they're really nice people, but it's fear. So when I started the movement and I talk about we have to protect women, protect them from who? Truth be told, it was from men who are abusing them. You know, so women were really protective. So when I say you have to protect women, they were like, eh? They were like, no. So I have to come with a different idea. I said this, okay, comrades, we have to protect our moms and our sisters. At that moment, they all got it. They're like, yes, we are with you on that. You see, so, so it's very interesting. So that became the first effect. How do you make something personal without a threat? You know? So when they agree, like, okay, we're going to protect our moms, we're going to protect our sisters, that's when men start buying into the idea of changing life for women, of being men's allies. That has to be, they still have to be led by women, but men feeling that they are the same as women. So now the movement started very well. I'm going slowly by slowly there. Now, the moment I was going to start a school, I got a backlash. No way. What about men? You cannot do that here. We cannot do that here. And if you think about it, Adam, is really learning a lot about humanity. We try to portray Africa that men you are the one stronger, but we forget the history. If you follow the history, women were really playing a very bigger role, even fighting against colonization in Ghana, in Senegal, in Africa. You know, so women were, men were going hunting. Women were doing what? Gathering of the fruits. So let's not a man should come and confuse and say, like, you know what? Women were made for kitchen. No! They're not about kitchen. They were doing gatherings of the fruits while men were doing what? Hunting. So I feel like people try to make up things as a way to fight other people. So I think this idea, like some men in Africa being like, no, women should not do this, I think is egoistic, so I do that. So by the moment we are not building a school for girls, men were now like, no, you don't allow this. So I have to come back to them again. It's all about what the men getting. So I told them, okay, listen, man, we're going to build a school. We want to have our women to have equal opportunity as men. And if you go around these schools here, there is they have few girls to school. Very early age, they're getting married. Very early age, they are forced to trade their body for food. This is not good. But my idea is that we're going to build a school, and around the school, there will be a library that men will use. There will be clean water that men are allowed to use. Men love to play games. There will be games in the hall that men can just come and play the games there. We're going to create a health center, clinic, that when men are also sick, they're going to use. But the point is that this girls' school will provide all these services. Adam, at that moment, men were like, we support you. You know, so and I'm really, really thankful to the men in Kibera, especially, that they've been able to accept to educate women in the community. But I think the game point, what's the game changer here? The game changer here is that we have to understand the other side of the story. What are they feared for? We have to fill those gaps. We cannot just come with an Western way style. It would work in Kibera, in my community. So I have to really think, and I know you've been calling it softology, which I love it. So I didn't know that before. So I've been loving it. Because it's really thinking, you know, it's really mapping it out. How are you going to tackle this issue? It's the same thing with the Apple, you know. They think about how they're going to work, how they're going to affect. And in the same way now, this thing, believe me, my friend, anytime we have election or violence in community, men are the one to come and say, we have to protect this school. Because they see the direct impact. You know, so anyway, so that's how the school works. And now we have some of these girls, I take them from a very early age, at the age of 3. And I work with them because I believe that at a very early education is very important. When you take these girls at the very early age, the best education is when you take them early. Then they can understand things. And we teach them about thinking, creativity, leadership, environment. How do you utilize water? Simple things. How do you utilize electricity? What is the climate change? How is the climate change connected to the trees? You know what I mean? So it's beautiful. And then I believe that these women are going to be powerful. They are educated. And they're going to impact society. And everything you're doing for them going to be replicated. And I told you, Adam, that I think we can have a Paris conference. We can have these big UN meetings. But until every individual on earth knows their role on climate change, nothing will ever happen. Yeah. And that's true. So I believe until we make things simple, and not only for the government policies, and it's a thing that every household owns it, that I want to be part of reducing the illusion. I want to be part of solving the problem of the climate change. I want to be part of making sure the future generation, my children, my grandchildren, are living in a beautiful planet. If I just leave this thing to the government and to the Paris Accord, zero work. That's my message.
That's a brilliant. And it's referring to actually that where you talked there, something when we met in London, discussion which for me, this is a brilliant technology which you've just described. And obviously we think of hard technologies such as you referred to, the Apple smartphone. But actually, I'd say technology is also the soft technologies, and it's about how you create a way of approaching things. And clearly you've achieved that because of the way that you've worked with the men, allow them to see all the benefits that they'll get from having this girls' school with all the added value that goes around it. And then the passion for how you create that. So what sort of benefits have you seen to the actual community? So how has it changed either the girls or the women or the men or other factors? What sort of evidence is there of the success?
Yes, I've seen a lot of success stories. One of them I'll share that Confidence have arisen for our girls at the school, the students, and also women in the community. Women now speak up. Women are now holding positions of power in their communities. They're also becoming part of decision making, in terms of how many children do they want. Before, women are just there to produce. Now they're now making decisions. I'm so impressed about it. We did a survey and they're like, no, I say I want 3, I want 2. I have to be part of discussion. Very interesting. And even on family planning, all those things. Then I also seen how men have been open up. For example, I'll give a quick story which I love. One of my guy I respect a lot in Kibera is a leader. I won't say his name. He was going to marry the second wife. But he's a leader and he associates with our school. So while he was drinking in a local pub, men told him that, you know what? If you're going to marry the second wife, you are going against the policies of SHOFCO. So you have to stop being the leader and go marry and let somebody else take the leadership. And the man was like, you know what? No. I'm not marrying anymore. No marriage. I fight for gender equality. And I'm like, wow. For me, that's really making me gonna cry. Like, because these men, they don't feel like, yes, they're part of change, they're part of equality. And then the other day, I got a WhatsApp message from one of a leader in Kibera. He was washing clothes, telling me, you see, I'm helping my wife. My wife is not a slave. And I'm like, what? You see, so now the thinking have changed a lot. Our girls did the exam and they were top in our area. They did very well in the exams. And more girls are now going to school because we have these beautiful schools that are now inspiring other people to go to other schools. So there's been a lot of change. And we've also been able to engage the government. Is willing really to engage with us on how to expand our services. So I see this is like a software that has really grown and is now having a lot of impact. And I'm a strong believer of impact. How do you stop? Even Apple company, they stop after 3 months. They say, hey, how's our product? What can we do better? And I don't like this idea of charity, social work. Just has to be like doing it. No. We don't give you financial returns, but we give you social returns. And the social returns, we have to go and evaluate what is happening in my community since I start working. So I am a strong believer of data. I am data driven, to be honest with you. And that's why we're able to create what I call a hard technology, that everybody in my community has a card, barcode card with the informations. Every time you come to the clinic, you barcode it. We see. We are able to see how much gender-based violence has gone down because we use that card to trace you and come to you again, ask you, how often did your husband beat you again? Since they know about SHOFCO. These things are real, man. Data is real. I love it. That's my new religion. It's data driven. I love it so much. It's like magic, And then, yeah.
Can you tell me? So have you? Because I'm aware that you've maybe won awards or you've got some recognition. What sort of things have you gained? How have people recognised the impact that you've been making?
Yes, Adam. To be told, really, I started doing this work when now I'm 32 years old. When I was 15 years old. And my aim was that my best award I'll be receiving is in the hearts of people that I serve. But life changed. Now it has come beyond my community. I've been recognized by former President of America, President Bill Clinton. I've been recognized by President Barack Obama when he came to Kenya. Okay. I've been recognized by the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. And we have been also recognized. I'm a member of something called Young Global Leaders, YGL, World Economic Forum. It's a big thing, I think so. To be part of those kind of people really have made a big impact in the world. And something called Econ Green. So many people have been people have been seeing like, wow, this is a change. And this is the future. And the future for me is not one single bullet, although I'm not against it. The future is now ecosystem integration. That's how we're going to solve our world's biggest problems. It's not one silver bullet that we used to believe that century ago. Like you go for malaria, you're done. No, now is integrated. And that's what SHOFCO is all about, transforming lives through integration.
So yeah, that's a perfect link to the environmental benefits of SHOFCO, because obviously what we've been talking about a lot of the kind of social benefits, how it's helping the actual direct community, the children, the adults, the whole community. But what's interesting is there's something people might be aware of if they have never come across it. They really need to look at something called Project Drawdown. Go to drawdown.org and you'll find a fascinating project which has looked at how to deal with climate change. And it's got the 100 biggest ways of dealing with climate change. And actually number 5 and number 6 are related to women and education.
Wow.
And that was really interesting for me, because obviously when I came across your organization, I immediately thought about how you're benefiting women and helping with climate change. So tell me a bit more about how you see that kind of emerging environmental benefit, both the local area and also maybe wider as well.
Yes. So as I said before, Adam, I think we talk about this integration. It also become part. For example, what we do in our school is we also educate our students on the environmental issues and the climate change. But at the same time, we don't just want them to read. We want them to participate. One thing is water. I know it's crazy. Kids come to me and say, you know what? Now I don't waste water. Since I learned about this. Some of them start planting trees. Think about this. No longer throwing plastic papers. They're like, no. That's bad for our environment, you know? And I also see the community now creating groups of recycling going on in the Kibera now. I'm very touched. Poor people are fighting on the climate change better than rich people. Truth be told, I'm sorry to say that, you know? Because the rich will always live in a good life. The poor will always suffer here. So it's a wake-up call. So now they're doing recycling of the plastic, you know what I mean? In the community. And the students are going back to their houses and telling their parents about the climate change, which they didn't know before. Because, Adam, the challenge we're facing in the world is that we are not engaging the 80% of the population. It's only like 5% people who want to talk about the climate change. There's no going down, bottom down. Everything is bottom up. Yeah? So we are doing that part. If you go to, sorry, Adam, forgive me to say this. You hear about the UN global goals. You know them, as I know them too. But I'll go to India in a slum in India, go to African slum, tell people, anybody to tell you that the UN is doing something. They were like, what the hell are you talking about? What is that? You know? So you can see, you can see. So I think we rely too much on the bigger organizations and our government to do this. I believe, yes, they have a part to play. But the bigger part is what SHOFCO is doing. What people are doing in the villages, what people are doing in towns, what people are doing. So I feel there have been a lot of ripple effect on the climate change because people in my community are now owning it. They know they are part, not of the problem only, but also part of the solution. But I think if you talk about it, it can really be scary. We talk about climate change, really scary, man. It's so scary. Like, oh my God, we already, I would say the word, we already destroyed it. So what's next? You know, so but we are giving them hope. No, you can do this to make it better. You can do this, you know, small things, you know. And somebody mentioned all those things. As we can do it, government will do their part, and citizens has a bigger part to do. We also have to give this government pressure. We have to give them pressure so that the pressure comes from the citizens for the government to make the right decisions. So everybody has a role to play, and they're already showing the world. I like that we call it shining up on Africa. Shining up on Africa now, as you can see in Africa, we are leading the way.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Adam. I mean, it's fabulous to hear about how you're inspiring those girls to go and talk and communicate with their families and their communities, and because, as you say, sort of women are more natural. They take care of their local environments, which can then help their wider environments.
Yes.
And so, but just to finish off, the thing that I'd also like to finish off on is like kind of a hard technology, because I understand you've got a piece of technology which you're using at the school, and you've got elsewhere, I think, which is actually helping environmentally as well. So tell me a bit more about that.
Okay, good. So one of the things that we have been really doing is impressive is the water. Water is, we are able to invent it. How? Because if you think about slums is dirty on the ground, the water gets contaminated because of the pipes. So we came with something called aerial piping. And this aerial piping is a aerial water, that water will be going through gravity. After cleaning the water, we have a borehole that filled by water that is cleaned and filtered, then it's pumped up, and it goes to different kiosks in Kibera. And what I like about this thing is, this is so funny. We build a system whereby you come in with your card, SHOFCO card, you tap in, you pay, no currency. Kenya use phones for paying things nowadays too. So now what happens is that you come and the water knows how many liters you want to put, tick, tick, you put it there, and it fills your jerrycan with no wastage of water. Then you can also charge your phone through the solar on top. Okay? Charge your phone. Then at night, the plan is that we are going to put the solar tops to bring the light on the streets, that make people not to throw things outside at night, because somebody's seeing you. We're also going to fight the crime. You see, think about climate change. It's not only now about climate change, but it's going beyond that. It's also going to be safety for our women and men working at night. Because of solar, okay, you have the light at night. So we're going to have this kiosk. So we're already building it and already start working. And I'm very much impressed how much, you know what? Fighting for climate change is also fun. Think about that. We have solar, we charge our phones. People just love it. It's not complicated. You know what I mean? So, and Adam, I believe in making things interesting, fun, engageable, and people feeling they're enjoying it. As a young man, when I was playing soccer, I didn't know I was doing workout. I just love running around in soccer. But in the long run, I'm like, whoa, I've been working out. You know what I mean? I'm a football player, so I've been running out, doing my workout without knowing. It has to come from love. And we have to do things that communities are really feeling part of it. It's good to have solutions from the West. I love it. But we have to also to come down and understand the culture, actually that, the social atmosphere. How can that solution can be integrated? Because I also believe something crazy, Adam. There is nothing new. My mom used to tell me that. Nothing is new. Everything has started somewhere. Even our phone called iPhone. It has to come from somewhere before it became iPhone. Okay? So an idea that works somewhere in the US or in London, I believe that it can also work in Africa, but in a different context. You see what I mean? So me, I still believe that technology is the future. With technology, we're going to solve the world's biggest problems. With technology, we can also solve look what we're doing now with water. Technology, you can't tap something there, it's hardware, you know what I mean? And hardware also starts from software. It has to be an idea before it becomes what? A hardware. So yeah, so that's what I think that we're really doing, and I'm using technology to change the world's biggest problems. You know what I mean? And it's all about step by step.
So that's another brilliant connection, actually. Step by step, you're talking about how you're looking to solve those problems, and you've been solving those problems starting off with one school in one area of Nairobi. what's your kind of expansion plans? How are you looking to both directly grow your social enterprise, and then also, do you have any ideas about how you can be enabling other people to use your ideas, to use your soft technology, as I'm calling it?
Yes.
So yeah.
So what we're working on is that for things to be powerful, you don't have to own it. You have to let it grow. So right now, SHOFCO is working in 4 more different slums in Kenya, Mombasa, Nairobi, 3 different slums like that. And we get a lot of calls from people, emails coming from India, from other parts of Africa. They hear about what we're doing, and they're trying to see if that can work. So we call it SHOFCO in the box. Okay, so you're able to come up with something that you can share with other people to do it themselves. You know what I mean? And they ask me, "What is this?" Adam, truth be told, is not that difficult for us. For us, it's all start with the people. You understand your community. That's the first rule. I tell these people want to start SHOFCO in their place. I say, okay, no. Number 1 rule is understand your environment, understand your challenges, and figure out how you can solve it. And then I tell them, okay, look, for example, in Kibera, where I grew up, we did it like A, B, C, D. Take it. Okay, take this. This is how we did it. But understand your environment. Kibera is not Nigeria. Nigeria is not Kenya. So but we give them these things, so we want them to be very much creative. You know what I mean? And that's how we have been able to solve this. People have been using our ideas almost in many places. So I'm very proud of that, and we are keeping on growing. And I think now the government of Kenya is really interested in what we are doing. They want to try to see how they can get involved. And I want more people, those who are good in technologies, those who are good in ideas. I want people to be part of this. I don't want somebody to come in to watch this talk and go like that. No, watch it, be inspired, take action. Taking action is not meaning that you have to come to Kenya. Yes, come. I welcome you to my work, but you also ask yourself a question: how do you want to have impact? What is on this issue having in this country? Wherever you are, what can you do? From ask yourself, what can you do? You will find it within you, what you can use to tackle the challenges that we are facing in the world. Thank you, Adam.
That's brilliant. So I'm been really happy listening to you here, and it's fabulous to hear how somebody who was homeless at the age of 10, kicking a football around in their teens to kind of keep themselves out of trouble, has transforming both their local community and inspiring people around the world. And if this video and also podcast can go a little way to inspiring some more people, then I'll be a very happy man as well. So if people want to find out more about you and SHOFCO, where can they find you online?
Perfect. So SHOFCO is SHOFCO is shofco.org. My name is Kennedy Odede, which is Odede. I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm on social media. So I hope to be in touch and interact with people. And also, you can also reach me through Adam, of course. Yeah. So thank you so much, Adam, for this opportunity to talk to the world. I really appreciate it.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And if you want to find out further episodes of this, you can find it on the website, inspiring-sustainability.com. And you can follow myself. It's Adam Woodhall, all one word, on both Twitter and LinkedIn. You can find me. And so just wanting to finish by thanking you, Kennedy, for your time and all the work that you've been doing in inspiring people in Nairobi, in Kenya, in Africa, and in the world. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much. Asante.
And this is finishing today's Inspiring Sustainability Game Changers podcast and video recording. Thank you.